Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I have to tell you, my mind is absolutely racing after piecing together the latest explosive developments, and I simply cannot keep these theories to myself for another second. If you thought the drama in Los Angeles had peaked, you are sorely mistaken. The absolute audacity of what is unfolding between Daphne, Carter, and Steffi has left me completely breathless. We are looking at a monumental secret pregnancy, a devastating betrayal of the highest order, and a vengeful master plan that is going to shake the very foundation of this show. Daphne Rose Walton has just discovered she is carrying the miracle baby she thought she could never have, but instead of a joyous reunion, she is walking right into a nightmare. Carter has committed the ultimate sin by jumping into bed with Steffi, and let me tell you, this changes absolutely everything for the future of these characters. Let us bypass all the boring buildup and look at the sheer magnitude of this betrayal. Carter Walton, the man who has paraded around for years as the moral compass, the noble lawyer who just wanted a traditional family, did not even wait for the ink to dry on Daphne's departure before he sought comfort in the most destructive way possible. Sleeping with Steffi? Are you kidding me? Steffi is essentially Daphne's closest confidant in this scenario, her best friend, the one person who should have been completely off limits. I am sitting here absolutely furious on Daphne's behalf. The speed at which Carter moved on is not just a lapse in judgment. It is a dagger straight to the heart of his marriage. It completely obliterates the image of the heartbroken, loyal husband he has tried to project. This single act of betrayal is the catalyst for what I believe will be the most vicious, emotionally charged revenge storyline we have seen in years. To truly understand the gravity of this impending explosion, we have to look at the psychological torment Daphne has been enduring. This poor woman was told by her doctor that she was going through early menopause. I cannot even begin to imagine the soul-crushing devastation of hearing that news when all you want is to give your husband a child. Daphne felt entirely inadequate. She felt like she was failing at the most fundamental biological level, stripped of her womanhood, and unable to fulfill the dreams she and Carter shared. The sheer weight of that inadequacy broke her spirit. She was so convinced that she was a disappointment to Carter that she packed her bags and abandoned her marriage. It was a tragic, heartbreaking sacrifice born out of profound insecurity and a misplaced sense of love. She thought she was setting him free to find someone who could give him a family. But here is the twist that had me literally yelling at my screen. All of those erratic behaviors, the wild mood swings, the irrational demands, and the utter selfishness Daphne displayed before she left, they were not the symptoms of early menopause. They were pregnancy hormones. The irony is so thick you could cut it with a knife. The doctor had explicitly told them that while it was highly unlikely, a natural pregnancy was still medically possible without invasive treatments. Daphne completely ignored that tiny glimmer of hope because she was so consumed by her own grief and frustration. She pushed Carter away, refused to consider alternative options like adoption or surrogacy, and acted completely out of character. She was so blinded by her despair that she walked away from her husband at the exact moment her greatest dream was actually coming true. She was pregnant all along, and her body was screaming the truth at her while her mind refused to listen. Now, imagine the sheer, unadulterated agony of Daphne's current reality. She finally realizes the truth. The missed signs, the emotional turbulence, it all makes sense. She is carrying Carter's child. The miracle has happened. But before she can run back into his arms to share the greatest news of their lives, she discovers the horrifying truth about Carter and Steffi. I tell you, folks, that kind of betrayal does not just break a heart, it fundamentally rewrites a person's DNA. Daphne is no longer the weeping, insecure woman who felt she was not enough. That betrayal has ignited a fire inside her, transforming her into a fiercely protective, vengeful mother bear. She has made the ultimate chilling decision. She is going to keep this baby a secret from Carter forever. This is where the storyline elevates from a standard soap opera misunderstanding into a high-stakes psychological thriller. Keeping a child a secret from a man like Carter Walton is like trying to hide a lit match in a powder keg. We all know how desperately Carter wants to be a father. It has been his defining character trait for years. If he ever finds out that he has a biological child out there in the world, he will stop at nothing to claim his rights. He is a high-powered attorney. He knows the law. And he will unleash a legal hurricane to get joint custody, if not full custody. Daphne knows this better than anyone. She knows that if she cannot run away and hide perfectly, she is going to face a lifetime of agonizing legal battles and emotional warfare. The anxiety of this situation is palpable. Every single day of her life will be spent looking over her shoulder, terrified that Carter will discover the truth. But Daphne is not just running, she is plotting. The information I am seeing suggests that Daphne is preparing to impose incredibly painful conditions on Carter if he ever wants to be a part of this child's life. She is going to make him submit. I am absolutely fascinated by this dark, ruthless turn in her character. What kind of conditions are we talking about? Will she force him to publicly confess his betrayal? Will she demand that he completely sever all ties with Steffi and the Forrester family? Or will she use the child as the ultimate leverage to financially and emotionally bankrupt him? Daphne is holding the ultimate trump card, and she is going to use it to inflict the exact same level of pain and humiliation that Carter inflicted on her when he climbed into bed with Steffi. This is no longer about love. This is about power, control, and retribution. Let us analyze why this specific plot is so incredibly vital for the future of these characters. For Carter, this is the destruction of his good guy persona. He has spent years being the moral authority, the man who gets his heart broken by scheming women. But now, he is the villain of his own story. His impatience and his inability to honor his vows during a crisis have cost him the one thing he wanted most in the world. When the truth inevitably comes out, Carter is going to have to face the devastating reality that his own actions drove his pregnant wife into hiding. The guilt and the shame will be monumental, and it will fundamentally change how every other character on the canvas views him. He will no longer be the victim. He will be the architect of his own misery. For Steffi, this adds yet another layer of scandalous complexity to her already chaotic life. Sleeping with the estranged husband of her friend is a massive crossing of boundaries. When Daphne's secret pregnancy is revealed, Steffi is going to be positioned as the homewrecker who almost cost a father his child. The fallout within the Forrester family and her own social circles will be catastrophic. Steffi has always prided herself on being strong and independent, but she is going to be dragged into a vicious, muddy custody war where she is clearly the inciting incident of the trauma. The guilt she will carry, knowing her moment of weakness with Carter caused Daphne to flee with a baby, will be a heavy burden that will impact her storylines for years to come. And then there is Daphne. This storyline is the absolute making of her character. She is shedding the skin of the insecure, infertile wife and stepping into the role of a powerful, uncompromising matriarch. By taking control of her destiny and weaponizing her pregnancy against the man who betrayed her, she is establishing herself as a formidable force on the show. This arc proves that she is not just a secondary character meant to prop up Carter's storylines. She is a complex, flawed, and incredibly dangerous woman when pushed to the brink. Her evolution from a woman who felt she lacked basic womanhood to a mother who holds the ultimate power over her husband's legacy is brilliant, gripping television. Looking ahead, I am predicting an absolute hurricane of drama. There is no way Daphne can keep a pregnancy hidden forever, especially in a world where everyone knows everyone's business. I foresee a scenario where Carter starts noticing inconsistencies. Maybe he sees a medical bill, or perhaps someone spots Daphne with a baby bump in a neighboring town. The moment Carter puts the pieces together, the confrontation is going to be legendary. I can already picture the scene: Carter demanding answers, tears in his eyes, realizing that the child he prayed for is right in front of him, while Daphne stares back with ice in her veins, laying out her excruciating terms for his involvement. We are also bound to see a massive confrontation between Daphne and Steffi. You do not just sleep with a woman's husband and get away with it, especially when that woman is carrying a secret child. I predict Daphne will return to Los Angeles not as a victim, but as a conqueror, ready to burn Carter and Steffi's world to the ground. She might even let Carter think he has a chance at redemption, only to pull the rug out from under him by revealing the legal ironclad documents she is prepared to keep him away from the baby. The emotional whiplash is going to be spectacular. In conclusion, my fellow fans, we are standing on the precipice of one of the most emotionally complex and explosive storylines in recent memory. The tragedy of miscommunication, the devastating consequences of a hasty betrayal, and the terrifying power of a scorned woman with a secret are all colliding in spectacular fashion. I am sitting on the edge of my seat, counting down the minutes until the next episode, because the fallout from Daphne's pregnancy and Carter's unforgivable sin is going to change the landscape of this show forever. Keep watching, keep theorizing, and brace yourselves for the storm that is about to hit Los Angeles.